He walks in with a cane and a coin. The manager scoffs, laughs, calls security. To them, he's just another confused old man holding up the line. But stick around, because what they didn't know is that this nobody helped found the very bank they're standing in. And when a furious general storms through the doors, the truth hits like a bombshell. They thought they held the power. They were wrong. Justice is coming, and it's wearing brass and dignity. Where in the world are you watching from? What time is it there? Let us know, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. The polished marble floors of Summit Ridge National Bank amplified every confident step as Kyan Matthews strode toward the elderly man, fumbling with a bronze coin at counter 3. His Italian leather shoes clicked with purpose, the sound of authority, of control. The morning sun caught his golden nameplate, a glinting reminder of his position as bank manager. "Sir, I've explained our policy twice now," Kyan Matthews declared, watching the security camera's red light blink reassuringly above. "That military challenge coin isn't valid identification for a withdrawal of this size." His voice carried across the lobby, drawing attention from other customers who began pulling out their phones. Robert Bobby Keene's weathered hands trembled slightly as he held out the coin. "Son, I've banked here for 30 years. This coin is from my unit in—" "I've heard enough veteran stories today." Kyan Matthews cut him off, straightening his imported silk tie. "Perhaps you don't understand how modern banking works. We have protocols, security measures." He could feel the phones recording now, but it only made him stand taller. Nobody questioned his authority in his bank. The old man's eyes hardened. "I earned this coin in Quezon. It's been accepted here since before you were—" "Security," Kyan Matthews called out, savoring the way his voice echoed off the marble walls. "Please escort this gentleman out." He turned away, already dismissing the scene from his mind, when a sharp voice cut through the tension. "Mr. Matthews, a word." The district supervisor, Eleanor Walsh, stood in the doorway of his office, her face unreadable. "That gentleman is Colonel Robert Keene, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient and member of our bank's founding board." For the first time, Kyan Matthews felt his certainty waver. His hand unconsciously went to his nameplate fingertips, tracing the engraved letters that suddenly felt less substantial. The phones were still recording, and he could hear whispers rippling through the lobby. Will Kyan Matthews' carefully constructed world of power and protocol survive this collision with a reality he refused to see? His fingers tightened around his nameplate as "Banking Fail" began trending on local Twitter feeds, a small crack appearing in its polished surface. "I've spent 15 years building this career, crafting policies that protect our institution's integrity. These outdated symbols of service, what place do they have in my modern banking world? Yet something in the old man's eyes haunts me, challenging everything I've built my authority upon. Have you ever felt the ground shift beneath your perfectly polished shoes? Type respect if you've ever witnessed someone's power crumble in the face of true dignity." The nameplate in Kyan Matthews' hands suddenly felt heavier, like the weight of his misjudgment made manifest in brass and ego. The security camera continued its steady blink, recording every second of his unraveling certainty, as Banking Fail exploded across social media platforms, carrying his name into infamy with each passing minute. Officer Kyan Matthews adjusts his crisp suit, the morning's confrontation with Robert Keene still burning in his mind. The bank's marble floors, once a testament to his domain, now echo accusations with every step. His fingers trace the nameplate on his desk, Kyan Matthews, branch manager, seeking reassurance in its polished surface. Through the glass walls of his office, he notices Elena Rodriguez, from accounts a 20-year veteran of Summit Ridge, huddled with other longtime employees. Their whispers carry fragments that make his stomach twist. "Just like Harrison back in '08. Never learned. Military accounts." Kyan Matthews pulls up the bank's archive, his usual confidence wavering as he types "Harrison incident" into the search bar. The results make his blood run cold. 8 years ago, Another manager had systematically denied services to veterans, leading to a discrimination lawsuit that nearly bankrupted 3 branches. The commemorative coin Robert Keene left behind catches the light again, drawing Kyan's attention. Under proper scrutiny, the markings reveal themselves. Special Forces Distinguished Service. His throat tightens as he remembers his dismissive words, "We don't serve your kind here." A notification pings on his computer. Someone has uploaded security footage of his confrontation with Keene to social media. Whereas bank shame is trending locally with comments flooding in, history repeats itself at Summit Ridge. Another Harrison in the making. Kyan Matthews' hands shake as he opens his personnel file. 23 complaints in the past year, alone, all from military personnel or their families. He'd dismissed them as routine, but now each one feels like a nail in his professional coffin. The elevator dings, and he flinches. Through his office window, he watches as members of the bank's board exit, their faces grave. Elena Rodriguez hands them a thick folder. Documentation he realizes must span years of similar incidents under his management. His mentor, Regional Director Phillips, had always praised his careful scrutiny of military accounts. "They're high risk," Phillips had said. "Better safe than sorry." Now watching Phillips hurry through the lobby without meeting his eye, Kyan Matthews understands he's been perpetuating a system of discrimination, one casual denial at a time. The coin feels heavier in his hand now. He remembers his father's stories about being denied loans despite his military service, how he'd promised himself he'd be different. Somewhere along the way, he'd become exactly what he'd once despised. "The power of my position made me forget its purpose. Each denial felt like protection of the bank of our standards. But looking at this coin, at these complaints, at the faces of people who've served under my command longer than I've been alive, have I been protecting anything besides my own prejudice?" As enduring bank shame climbs Twitter's trending list, Kyan Matthews watches his carefully constructed world begin to crack. The portrait of Robert Keene's quiet dignity haunts him a mirror, reflecting 23 similar faces he'd turned away, each carrying medals and memories he'd deemed irrelevant. Type "Wake up" if you've ever had your prejudices exposed scrolls across the mounting social media storm, each comment driving home the weight of his actions. The coin spins on his desk, a metallic whisper of accountability. Outside his office, the whispers grow louder, and Kyan Matthews realizes that his morning of maintaining order has become an afternoon of reckoning with chaos of his own making. Officer Kyan Matthews stared at his phone, transfixed by the endless stream of notifications. The video played on repeat, his own voice, dripping with condescension, questioning Robert "Bobby" Keene's identity. Each replay made his hands tremble more violently, the phone nearly slipping from his sweating palms. The hashtag "towards veteran respect" blazed across his screen like an accusing finger, already reaching hundreds of thousands of views. "Sir, the board is requesting an immediate meeting." His assistant's voice wavered from the doorway, but Kyan barely heard her over the thundering of his own heartbeat. His eyes fixed on the security cameras in the corners of his office. The same ones he'd always viewed as his allies, now feeling like silent accusers recording his downfall. The nameplate on his desk caught the afternoon light. Kyan Matthews, branch manager. He'd polished it just this morning, as he did every day, a ritual of pride, now turned to mockery. His fingers traced the engraved letters, remembering how he'd straightened it precisely parallel to the desk's edge before Mr. Keene had walked in. The archive system's notification chimed, drawing his attention to the screen. There it was. Robert "Bobby" Keene's complete military service record, decorated veteran status, and most damningly the bank's historical records, showing the Keene family's role in founding Summit Ridge National Bank. The very cornerstone of the building bore the same name he'd dismissed so casually hours ago. Kyan's phone buzzed again. CNN was running the story. His hand shook as he opened the link. "Decorated veteran humiliated at bank his family founded." The comment section was a fury of outrage, each one stabbing deeper than the last. Local veterans groups were organizing a protest outside the bank for tomorrow morning. "Have you seen what they're saying about you on Twitter?" A colleague's voice drifted through his open door. Kyan minimized the security footage he'd been obsessively reviewing, trying to find some angle, some justification for his behavior. But each replay only confirmed his arrogance, his prejudice laid bare for the world to see. His quarterly performance review sat unopened on his desk, the Excellence in Customer Service certificate mocking him. Kyan reached for his silk tie, suddenly feeling it tighten like a noose. The security badge hanging from his neck, his symbol of authority, now felt heavy with shame. A text from the regional director made his blood run cold. "Board meeting in 1 hour. Bring your keys and badge." The words blurred as panic set in. 6 years of climbing the corporate ladder, all his carefully cultivated relationships and reputation crumbling in real time with each new share and retweet. The worst part wasn't the trending hashtag or the incoming disciplinary action. It was the memory of Mr. Keen's eyes, dignified, patient knowing. Those eyes had seen real combat, real sacrifice, while Kyan had waged his petty wars from behind a mahogany desk. Drop 1 in the comments if you've ever watched your world crumble in real time. A group of veterans gathered outside the bank's glass doors, their presence drawing more smartphone cameras, more witnesses to his shame. Each passing minute brought new revelations: Bobby Keen's Bronze Star, his decades of community service, the scholarship fund he'd established for military families. Kyan Matthews, who had prided himself on controlling every aspect of his domain, now sat powerless as his carefully constructed world unraveled. The security cameras continued their silent vigil, recording every moment of his descent from respected manager to viral symbol of prejudice and arrogance. The sound of his own voice from the viral video echoed in his mind. "We have certain standards here." Now those words testified against him, revealing standards he had failed to meet himself. His nameplate caught the light once more, each letter now spelling out his failure to uphold the very values Summit Ridge National Bank was built upon. Using my full name, Kyan Matthews, I stand frozen behind my mahogany desk at Summit Ridge National Bank as General Cohen's footsteps echo through the marble lobby. Each deliberate step sounds like judgment approaching. My nameplate gleams mockingly under the fluorescent lights. The same nameplate I'd polished obsessively this morning, so proud of my position, my authority. "Mr. Matthews." The General's voice carries that unmistakable command presence that makes my affected banking authority feel like a child's game. "I understand you've been questioning the service record of Sergeant Robert Keen." The security cameras whir slightly as they pivot to capture this moment. I feel their electronic eyes boring into me, knowing this footage will probably end up online. My throat constricts as I remember my earlier smugness, my dismissive waves of the hand, my sneering implications about suspicious military documentation. Sergeant Keen received the Silver Star for actions that saved his entire unit. General Kane continues, each word landing like artillery fire. He begins listing Bobby's accomplishments, deployment dates, commendations. The same details I'd arrogantly questioned hours ago now sound like an indictment of my prejudice. I catch a glimpse of my reflection in the window. My face has lost all color. My hands shake as I reach for the nameplate that had given me such pride. The metal feels cold, alien. The security footage will show this moment, too. How I slowly turn it face down, unable to bear seeing my name, my title, my assumed importance. "Sir, My voice cracks. The words stick in my throat. The lobby has gone absolutely silent. Even the usual clicks of computers and shuffling of papers have ceased. Everyone is watching, waiting. My phone buzzes. A news alert. Someone's already posted a clip of my earlier interaction with Bobby. The bank shame is trending. My stomach lurches as I read the comments flooding in. "I was wrong. I finally managed the words echoing in the hushed space. Completely, utterly wrong. My carefully cultivated banking authority crumbles with each syllable. Sergeant Keene, I turned to face him, directly forcing myself to meet his eyes. I let my prejudices and assumptions guide my actions. Your service, your sacrifice. I had no right to question them. No right at all. The security camera's red light blinks steadily, recording my transformation from power to humility. General Khan stands like a sentinel of justice, his presence making my earlier behavior seem even more petty and shameful. With trembling fingers, I reach for the forms I'd denied Bobby earlier. Your withdrawal will be processed immediately, Sergeant. And I swallow hard. I'll be submitting my formal apology to bank leadership along with a request for mandatory sensitivity training for all staff regarding military service members. Type respect. If you believe every veteran deserves dignity and honor, the nameplate catches the light one final time as I slip it into my drawer. The sound of it clicking against the wood feels like a full stop at the end of my reign of arrogance. Tomorrow this desk will likely have someone else's name on it. Someone more worthy of the trust our community's veterans place in us. General Kane's next words confirm my fears. Summit Ridge National Bank has always prided itself on serving our military community, Mr. Matthews. I'll be speaking with the board about ensuring that legacy continues properly. I nod, accepting the implicit message. My empire of prejudice hasn't just crumbled, it's been righteously demolished, and the security cameras have captured every moment of my fall, every second of my overdue education in respect and dignity. The hashtag continues trending. My phone won't stop buzzing. But for once, I'm exactly where I need to be, humbled, learning, and finally understanding the true meaning of service. Not just to a bank, but to those who've served our nation. Kyan Matthews stares at his reflection in Summit Ridge National Bank's polished windows, seeing a stranger where his confident image once stood. The morning light catches the brass nameplate he's carried like a shield for 15 years. Regional manager suddenly feels hollow a title that had given him permission to wield authority like a weapon. His hands tremble as he slides open his desk drawer, placing the nameplate inside with ceremonial slowness. The soft thud feels like a gavel falling on his old life. Through the glass walls of his office, he watches the installation team mounting the new Honor and Silence plaque, its bronze surface catching the same light that once made his nameplate gleam with such false promise. Sir, his assistant's voice makes him flinch. The board's statement is trending. Aren't the bankers? Honor has reached over 2 million views. Kyan nods, his throat tight. The viral video of his public apology plays on screens throughout the lobby, his voice cracking as he admitted his prejudice, his shameful treatment of Robert Bobby Keene permanently archived in digital memory. The comments scroll endlessly. About time someone owned up. This is what accountability looks like. His fingers trace the edge of Bobby Keene's challenge coin, now mounted in a custom display case in the lobby. The inscription reads, "Earned, never given." How many times had he dismissed such tokens as meaningless? Now its weight carries more authority than his designer suit ever did. The security cameras whir softly overhead, the same ones that captured his arrogant dismissal of Bobby Keene just 24 hours ago. Now, they record a different man, one who understands that true authority doesn't need to announce itself. The quiet dignity he once mistook for weakness has become his greatest teacher. The Veteran Support Initiative documents are ready for your signature, his assistant says, placing a thick folder on his desk. The new policies drafted with Bobby Keene's input will transform how Summit Ridge serves military personnel. Each page feels like penance, each signature a step toward redemption. Kyan pauses at the final page, remembering the sound of his own voice. Do you know who I am? The question that had seemed so powerful yesterday now echoes with embarrassing hollowness. Bobby Keene's steady response, "I know exactly who you are, sir," carries new meaning. He had seen through Kyan's facade all along. Standing in the lobby, Kyan watches veterans enter the bank. Their boots sometimes leave marks on his precious marble floors, but now he hears their footsteps differently, each step earned through service he'd failed to honor. The security cameras capture him, greeting them with genuine respect, no longer measuring worth by the cut of a suit or the balance of an account. The challenge coin catches the afternoon light, sending a reminder across the lobby. Authentic authority doesn't need marble floors or mahogany desks. It's earned in moments of service, in choices that put others first, in the quiet dignity he once foolishly dismissed. Type earned respect if you've learned that true authority speaks softly. Kyan Matthews, former titan of Summit Ridge National Bank, straightens his tie one last time, not as armor, but as a simple piece of cloth. The security cameras record his transformation, a banker who finally understands that power without respect is no power at all. Share this story if you believe in the power of learning from those we once wrongly judged. The quiet dignity of service speaks louder than any title ever could.